Welcome back to the Maxwell Ranch for the practical side of this drone review for the new Mavic Air 2. What we're going to be doing with the practical side is we have the Mavic Mini, the Mavic Air first generation, and the Mavic Air 2. So we're going to get the three of these up and do a little bit of comparison between the three, and we'll see what DJI has done to make the little drone better and see if the new Mavic Air 2 is better than the original one with some flight. We're going to check it out. And there we are. So here we go. We're getting the Mavic Mini ready to do its little speed test. We're going to take each of the three Mavics and do a speed test just from here, going forward, and then backwards to this tree over here. So just a quick speed test, and then we'll fly it around and also get a little bit of footage of a couple of the same areas so that we can compare the 2.7, I think it's 60 frames per second on this, to the 4K 30 frames per second on the Mavic Air, and then the 4K 60 frames per second on the new Mavic Air 2. We'll see the difference, and then also obviously the difference in pixel size and everything as well. So this will be interesting. It's definitely nimble. It's a nice little craft.
Very quiet.
It is pretty quiet. So, alright, we're going to go up a little bit here, and then we'll do a quick speed test. Backwards, it's pretty slow. But, not too bad, pretty quick. We're going to do a quick little fly around and just we'll fly around the property here and compare some footage. The whole property, and we'll do the same kind of thing with all the drones. If you can see, we were getting a little bit glitchy here, so it could be the area, or we'll see if the other drones suffer from the same issues. It likes landing in your hand pretty easy. There's the little dude, and I think it did well. Now, why don't we get up the Mavic Air? And for all of these, we don't have any filters or anything on any of the drones, even though we do have a filter kit for this, and the Fly More package for the new Mavic Air 2 came with a its own little, I think it comes with an ND 8, 16, and 64. So that's pretty cool. You don't have to buy like pretty much anything. It's an all-inclusive kit. Which, I know one of the problems with the original Mavic Air is without anything, the footage can get pretty kind of blown out if you don't set the ISO to like 0 or to 100 or 200. You can't set too much because the sensor's too small. Now let's get the Mavic Air, the original Mavic Air, up in the air. So filming at 4K 30 frames per second. We have it, we'll put it over into sport mode, and let's see how fast this thing is. And that's to the tree, and coming back. And that's it. It definitely seems like it is a little bit faster. And then this, it has about the same as far as glitches go. I mean, it's not perfect, and then like we just stopped right here in sport mode, it's got the big like tilt, which like we've talked before, can totally just ruin a shot. We're gonna bring it back now, land it, and we'll get the new unit up in the air. The updates are great. The landing in your hand's pretty awesome. While we're over here, we may as well check on the Inspire, see how it's doing. It's floated a little bit off course. We'll kind of correct it here a little bit. So there we go. So even the big mighty Inspire can be affected by the wind. Now we're gonna get the new unit up, and we haven't really looked at the open controller yet, but the controller design is awesome. One, having it over your, or not having the screen over your thumbs like with the original, and then this whole like design is pretty freaking cool, and it hides everything really nice. And we'll see if we close it, it keeps your cord in place and hidden. That way, so you don't lose your cord, it's always there. You don't have to worry about it. All right, let's fire the new one up. And then this one uses a different application, so we gotta switch over to the DJI Fly app, which the Mavic Mini also runs off of. So I guess it's kind of cool that it runs with some of the same applications. I guess with the newer, smaller drones are probably all gonna run off of that. But it's kind of annoying that they don't just update the older applications so that, you know, I mean, now we have 3 apps to run our different drones. It's a little ridiculous, but I'm sure they'll consolidate and get everything on the same page eventually here. Alright, so we've got the new drone up and ready to go. This thing is, it's a pretty little drone. Obviously, like we've said and looked at it before, it's pretty much just like a bigger version of the Mavic Mini, and kind of like a little bit smaller version of the original Mavic Pro. So let's get this thing up in the air and see how it looks. Alright, we'll switch it over to video, and we'll set it to 4K at 60 frames per second. This is going to be cool. Let's see how well this 48 megapixel sensor does. Okay. And this is the first one that we have not had to do a sensor reset on, or calibration. So already I like this one way more. Let's do takeoff. Very nice. Let's get it recording. Set our angle. Get over. Go up a little bit. To make sure we switch over to sport mode, which has the easy button right on here. And let's do a quick speed test. Ready and go. And that's there, come back. And done. This thing is back. And I will say right off the bat, just the clarity on the screen transmission is unreal. Next level compared to what we're used to with, I mean, even the Inspire. The Inspire, it looks pretty good, but I believe even that is limited to 720. I mean, this is 1080p transmission, and it looks incredible. I think we're getting another one of these, my friend.
Oh, I'm pretty sure we are.
It is beautiful. I mean, I don't even need to see this on the bigger screen, and I can tell you it is.
Clarity is
very
key.
Nice. Oh yeah. And dude, just the colors look better. And then obviously being 60 frames per second, this is just dead smooth. I mean, we did one quick pan around with all the other ones. I'm like mesmerized by how smooth this looks. And this is just being transmitted to us digitally. So, I mean, I can't even imagine how good this is going to look once it comes down and we get to see it. Ecstatic. DJI did an incredible job. We haven't really checked the footage yet, but as far as flight goes and everything, and it's a little bit windy. It's actually calmed down, but I mean, you can still hear the big Inspire up there is getting blown around a little bit. And but if we look out, I don't know if you can see it if it's too small on that, but I mean, it's not even moving too much. And up higher there, it is a little bit windier. Let me trade you. Fly that thing for a little minute.
Oh my God, just the screen alone.
Right? It is buttery though, isn't it?
You see everything.
Oh yeah.
That is going to be so, that is gonna be
So does the official Throttle Report pilot approve?
Oh, it's insane. Oh, wait for some footage.
So what would you say to anybody that is considering or having a hard time considering buying or upgrading from the Mavic Air to this?
The Mavic Air is a great drone on its own, but from the Mavic Air to this, such a difference.
So would you say if you can upgrade, would you do it?
I would do it immediately if you can. I mean, I have an old Mavic Pro, and this is a little bit smaller than that, and this is insane. I mean, like, just the image quality alone without even seeing what the recording footage is.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, and this is before we don't have any filters or anything. This is
nothing.
Bone stock, so
it's so smooth.
Oh, it's incredible. It's honestly, it's like it's just as buttery as flying the Inspire.
Oh yeah.
I am super impressed by this thing. Just everything, the image transmission, the not having to calibrate it every time you fly it. It's quality-wise in use, it feels a lot closer to the Inspire, which obviously the Inspire you're spending upwards of $18,000 on. It better be extremely high quality. But like this, for $1,000 is a steal. I mean, for $1,000 you get 3 batteries that have 34 minutes of flight time claimed. We'll see how long it actually does fly. And then 48 megapixel sensor, 8K time lapses, 4K 60 frames per second on video. This thing is unreal. I am super stoked. DJI, incredible job. We're getting another one, and hopefully we'll have some really awesome footage to show you guys soon. Thanks. We'll show you some more stuff soon.